Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Gamer Guild podcast, your one-stop shop for all things in the wide world of video games. I'm your co-host, Cody Robertson.
And I'm your co-host, Noah Bowers. This week, the PS5 Pro is finally coming with a Pro price tag. And is Astrobot Game of the Year?
That's right. We'll cover all this and more right here on the Gamer Guild podcast. But first, please welcome this week's guest, Augusta University's sophomore animation major, Marcus Walker. Marcus, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How's everyone doing?
Awesome. We're doing awesome, man.
Voice acting.
How can you not do awesome with that?
I figured I'll start off with something.
Yeah, right.
Before I haul off a flat line, like...
You gotta be whimsical, man, right off the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. So I'll bring my wizard powers with me then.
Awesome. Nice. Don't cast any crazy spells on me, okay? Because we have to do a show, Marcus.
There's so much to talk about.
So much. Marcus, thanks for joining us. So you were with us in our esports course. That was pretty fun. So you know,
yeah.
we all know you from the esports course. We're all big gamers here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We're happy to have you sporting your esports t-shirt today. So good
Absolutely.
for the representation.
Heck
Marcus,
yeah, man.
Thanks for coming. So the first question we like to ask our guests here on the Gamer Guild podcast is, what is your favorite video game and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go with Crash Bandicoot.
Nice. The first one?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where everything started with me with Crash Bandicoot, you know. Even though it had like a basic story, it's just like the world. And even though it's got linear gameplay and everything, it's just the stuff that you don't see that got me ultra curious and stuff like that. Like, what's at the bottom of this pit? If I fall in? What's off in the jungle that I'm not seeing? You know, there's a bunch of ruins around. Like, what's the story with that? You know, was it once a thriving civilization, and now I'm like the animal version of Indiana Jones or something like that?
Yeah.
You know, I would say Mario, but you know, I can outrun Mario, so I don't have to worry about him and stuff. Nice. But Crash, you know, spin attack.
Yes.
You know,
the original ones are just so good.
Oh yeah.
They were so good for the platforming and stuff.
Yes.
So I like that one.
Yes, I have overplayed Crash Bandicoot, especially Crash Bandicoot 2. There's a level 25, Unbearable. I have played that so much on my freaking PlayStation. The PlayStation won't even let me into the level anymore. It just goes to oblivion.
Nice.
It's like you played enough.
Is that the one where you ride the bear?
Yes.
Oh,
that's the
nice.
one.
That's what I thought, dude. Oh, dude, that is a good one.
Yes, my first introductory into how dangerous polar bears are. You know?
Yeah, right.
So I already knew ahead of time before watching National Geographic, and David Attenborough was like, you know, we have this polar bear running across the ice here trying to catch the seal. It's screwed.
Yeah, man. You always need a good introduction to your wildlife. I'm glad to hear that Crash Bandicoot was it for you. And you also got what is? I guess he's a bandicoot, right? So
yeah, marsupial.
For I guess you're experimenting on bandicoots as well. Right?
Yeah, you know, hey, things in Australia are already dangerous, so you know, and he's kind of Crash is from that part of the world, I believe. So you know, if he's a mutated bandicoot, you know, he's got spin attack, and
that's messed up.
You gotta watch out.
Yeah, educational. That's what I always thought. Crash Bandicoot when I
yeah, that's what I think when I think Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Education.
The more you know.
Did you play any of the new one, Crash Bandicoot 4? About Time? I think it's what's called.
That one I'm making my way to. I'm playing through the Insane Trilogy.
Nice.
I've heard a lot of people had issues with latency or something like that with one of them. Yeah, I think it was early in the beginning and stuff, especially and I've been seeing online that everyone was getting smoked on the bridge levels. I think it was I think it's called High Road or Road to Nowhere. Either way, it's a bridge level, and you know, and I was like, oh, really? You guys getting smoked on that one? But that's the easy one.
For real.
Actually, that's a fun one. For me, it's Slippery Climb. That's the bad one for me.
Oh yeah. Do you get up on the rope on the bridge and do it that way, like a speedrunner?
I have done it both ways. I have done it the hard way. I have gone on the ropes, and yes, but I will not lie. I'm not a pro. I lost around about 20, 25 lives. But Slippery Climb, I went from maybe about 80, 90 to game over.
Nice.
so my vote is on Slippery Climb.
Nice.
Next up, Lights Out.
Lights Out. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to. I haven't finished the fourth one yet, but I finished like I think the first one in Insane Trilogy. I go through 2 and 3, but at the same time, I was like, I get it. So I'm gonna play 4.
I'm playing through the secret ending on Crash 2.
Okay.
Because I decided, I can do the crystal thing, but what about the gems?
What about the gems, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, my younger brother's been grinding through the Insane Trilogy ever since it came out. He has it on PC, and so yeah, he loves it.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
Good pick, Marcus. Good to have you once again. Let's get into some of the new releases that came out this week, and then once again, one that isn't quite out yet, but we're going to talk about it anyway. All right, number 1. Here's a pretty big one, guys. You ready for this? Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Came out Monday, September 9th. Now, I did say this was a full-price video game, and that's true on consoles, but it is $60 on PC.
That's why I thought it was 60.
Yeah,
because I was checked on Steam.
Yeah, so I checked and I saw the PS5 price. I was like, oh, it's 70. But yeah, it's 60 on PC for some reason, 70 on Xbox Series X and PS5, which it's only on the next-gen consoles. Or, I guess we should say current-gen, because, there's a PS5 Pro, which we'll get to in a minute. So we should say current-gen. But developed by Saber Interactive. This is kind of the first kind of big game that Saber has developed themselves. They really are more known for buying up a lot of companies back in like 2020, 2021. They bought up a lot of development studios and stuff, and then they actually went independent, and then I think got bought up again. So a lot of corporate shuffling was done by them. So this is kind of their big first foray, kind of after all of that dust has settled. It's reviewing really well. It's got an 83 on Metacritic. Noah, I know you were really excited about this. I was really excited about the concept of it. Like I said, it looks a lot of like Gears of Warzy, that kind of thing. Big, broody tank guys. If Paladin had a gun, this would be it. Pretty cool.
Get some.
Yeah, exactly, man. So awesome for Warhammer fans. It seems to be reviewing pretty well. The campaign I hear is kind of short. I'm hearing like 10 to 15 kind of hours.
Yeah, around so.
Okay, so a little short, but I hear it's good. And I hear people are glad it's short because of the gameplay loop, kind of if it was a little bit longer would maybe overstay its welcome. Yeah. So it's like a good thing.
Get a little repetitive.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I'm a sucker for replay value, so if the campaign's short and sweet, then I'm just going to cycle through it anyway.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. Apparently, they're going to come up with some free updates later on.
You don't say.
On the campaign a little bit, and there is a co-op campaign that's separate from the single player campaign too, so tons of replayability it sounds like. But yeah, this looks pretty cool. Noah, did you have anything you were particularly excited about?
Yeah, I was super excited about this game ever since I saw the initial trailer. The scale of the combat in this just looks absolutely insane. I watched some early gameplay. I actually purchased it right before I came here on the podcast. Nice. I did get the Ultimate Edition.
So you only paid 60 or did you pay 70?
No, I paid 100.
Oh, you got that.
I got the Ultramarine edition.
Gotcha.
It's going full speed ahead, everybody.
I had to.
Last week we just said
this wasn't pre-ordered.
Guys, it's not Ubisoft though, so it's okay.
I did say that. So I got this because all of the future gameplay updates, so any new levels that they add to the campaign, both single player or co-op, is all going to be free.
Okay.
So the season pass is only for cosmetics to make your Ultramarine look as cool as you want. And I wanted my Ultramarine to look cool. So it's like, as a reward for them being like, hey, all future like actual gameplay, we're not going to charge you for as of right now in the first like year of the season pass. But we are going to like charge you if you want to like make your Ultramarine look cool. I was like, I'm down for that.
Okay.
And the whole vibe of Warhammer is like, if you want to look cool, you're gonna have to pay.
That's like the core concept.
Even in the like real Warhammer games. So I was
like a tabletop, you have to buy the mini things.
So you gotta like get extra bounty points for if you look good. But I guess if you slay and you look generic, then I guess people are gonna laugh at you even more.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think even the generic ones look super dope. The modeling and design and artwork and just everything about the grimdark genre that Warhammer really founded just looks so cool. So yeah, I did buy the Ultimate Edition. So that comes with like an initial like skin pack plus the season pass for like a full year's worth of all the future cosmetic items that they're going to be releasing.
Okay.
And yeah, the gameplay thing that I'm most excited for is definitely the co-op campaign. That just sounds like so much fun. Now,
something we really needed, I think.
Yeah, and I really like the direction that they went with it. So they have the single player campaign, and then the co-op campaign is separate story, quote unquote, but they're both like happening at the same time. So when you're playing the single player campaign, things that happen in the co-op campaign are referenced. And like the missions that you do like build up a lot of the story moments that happen in the single player campaign. So I think that's a really cool and satisfying way to like build a narrative for people who want to play both or just play one and still, gain credit for some of the other ones. And there's a PvP mode as well. I think it's only 1 or 2 game modes, but I'm curious to see if they'll ever expand upon that. I know the primary reason people are going to buy this game is for the campaigns, so I just think it's a nice little cherry on top that they even added a PvP mode. Very Gears of War-esque, but I think a lot of people are also going to realize that Gears of War is probably very Warhammer-esque. Warhammer has been around a lot longer.
Right. They're kind of like us. Maybe they're second cousins to each other in a way.
Yeah, this little sister game. But yeah, I can't wait for this. I'll be playing it as soon as I get home from class, and This will probably be my early game of the year contender. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Nice. Helldivers was close. And I talked
similar.
about that. Very similar, but I think this is just a better version of Helldivers.
Wow. Right. Because all the extra stuff that comes along in the game and everything.
Yeah, and just being able to build off of the franchise that is Warhammer, you just have so much more to work with. Whereas Helldivers is kind of, it does have like a previous game because Helldivers is actually Helldivers 2. Just like this is actually Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
So they're both sequels, but there's just so much more in the Warhammer universe and lore to like make it cooler, I guess.
All the more to explore.
Are you a Warhammer fan, Noah?
So I haven't actually played Warhammer, so I'm not going to call myself a fan because I think that's unjust to people that have actually put time and effort into like learning the tabletop game and playing that. But I am a huge like consumer of all the lore and videos, and I even have read some of the books as well.
Nice.
So I do love the Warhammer universe, but I have not actually played a tabletop game of Warhammer.
Marcus, are you a Warhammer guy?
I am now.
Sounds pretty cool.
Are you going to be playing Warhammer Space Marine 2, or wait for it to go on sale or something like that?
Normally, I'm the kind of person that, waits until things kind of die down and then I go and snatch up everything. But I just don't stop at the release. I go for everything.
Yeah.
So, like, if I like it, I'm going to go for the current ones, the older ones, and whichever one's in between. That's kind of how I approach Resident Evil. I came in the Resident Evil probably Resident Evil 6, which I think a lot of people said that was like the worst one in the franchise because I guess it was more action horror or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, but this game's cool. What happened here? And then, I played the very first one. I was like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I have a lot of exploring to do.
Right.
So you think if you get Space Marine 2, you'll go back and try and play the first game, see how it holds up?
I will probably do that unless the current one is that good and I can't get away from it.
There you go.
But I'm going to go ahead and sample the first one. I might end up playing both of them at the same time, and which one probably ends up holding my interest more. I'll probably go and finish that one, then I'll run back, and then I'll have a strange combination where I'll start off new, then I go back to old, and I'll play with old and new at the same time. Then I'll take that divided by 7 and then go somewhere else.
Yeah. Nice. So it's just a normal way to play video games.
Yeah.
There you go.
Normal thing to do.
Just spontaneous.
There you go.
Well, I think it's gonna be great. I think there is quick play matchmaking as well for the co-op campaign. So
nice.
If you don't have two, because it's 3 players, if you don't have 2 people to get on at the same time, you can just. I think you can also queue up with bots too.
Oh,
they'll just have an NPC.
Because I don't have any friends, so I need bots.
You have me, Cody.
Well,
I just imagine like the quickest match, someone goes in, gets blown to Kingdom Come, and then it's like, okay, back to the lobby.
Yeah, well, see you guys later. That was fun. All right, well, that's Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. It is a sequel, like you said, Noah, to Space Marine 1, which I think came out in 2011, so it's been a while. It's got an 83 on Metacritic, $60 on PC, $70 on console. Sorry, console guys. It's on PC, Xbox Series X, and PS5 by Saber Interactive. So check it out if you're into Warhammer, if you're into Space Marine, if you're familiar with the series already, or if you're into that third-person shooter tanky genre, which is, basically just Gears of War. And
not just shooter, a lot of melee combat in there.
That's true.
I think it's actually probably more melee depending on what class you do than shooter. And both of the archetypes look like they're really well developed. So yeah.
There you
If
go.
you're just in for some like broody action, go for it.
There you go. So check it out if you're into that. All right. Next one, I Am Your Beast. I know, Noah, you wanted to talk about this one. So this one came out Tuesday, September 9th. It's a $20 video game. Pretty cheap. It's on
Turns
PC
out I'm still
only
good.
by a developer called Strange Scaffold. And I think
What the
this
CO
might be
I
their
made
first
me.
game. I didn't really see a whole lot of information on their website.
I'm not going back.
This might be
Harding.
their first thing. But Noah, I know you were excited about this one.
I know you're listening.
First-person shooter.
You can still come in.
It's kind of stealthy, like you're sneaking
We've gone
around.
fishing.
But then it also, no, I don't know. if
You've
guys-
held my son.
It looks a little speed run too.
Yes.
Put this behind
Like
us.
stealthy speed running. It looks pretty cool. Like it's a nice little combo.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you think, Noah?
I'm definitely interested in this one. I'll probably check it out. It's not a full price game. I think it's dropping at $20, but it's even on sale right now for the first, I think, 2 weeks of the release for $18. Yeah, Strange Scaffold. It's a like first person shooter, military action stealth game, but it's supposed to be similar to what's that game called? Ghost Runner, I think.
Okay.
Ghost Runner Tokyo, where it's like hyper fast and you have to try and like go through these like linear levels. So it is definitely it's supposed to appeal to speedrunners. So like each level, I think you can get like up to 5 stars and you can reduce your time and stuff like that, and get high scores. So it's supposed to be like super competitive as well.
Nice.
So I'm really excited about this. I really love the art style on this one. It's like
it's
kind of like retro arcadey type, but with
It's
some
sort
cell
of
shading.
PS1-ish.
Yeah.
I like that.
Polygonal, but very low res.
Yeah. I'm a retro head, so you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'd probably be into it then.
Big, big retro vibes, and yeah, it just almost similar to like Super Hot. If anybody's
Oh yeah, I played that one.
yeah. So if you're a fan of Super Hot, this is very similar to that in terms of like the action style and like the viewpoint. Obviously, there's not gonna be slow motion and stuff like Super Hot. Great gameplay loop in that one too. But this one's gonna be more so like you can throw the guns at people when you run out of ammo. You can pick new guns up, and it's just supposed to be like super fluid, super fast. Very appealing to people who like speed running or just trying to be a completionist and get like the highest or most efficient score possible.
I can get a lot of mileage out of throwing guns at people.
I'm saying. So I'm excited for this one, and I like that it's just a neat little $20 indie game that somebody put out. It's a short game.
It looks like an interesting story too, very conspiracy type story. Like, what are you doing there? What's your motivation? That kind of thing. The trailer did a really good job of conveying that mystery, so I was pretty interested. Yeah. So there's I Am Your Beast. Marcus, are you into indie FPSs at all? Sounds like this kind of might be your thing if the graphics are jiving with you like they were.
Yes.
Nice.
I want to play this.
Nice. Yeah, and I was telling Marcus earlier, kind of a little bit Dishonored-y just in terms of the stealth, that kind of thing. But then it has that and Neon White's another good example of like a speedrunny type shooter game that kind of I got the same impression from. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool, man. It's only $20. Hey,
$20?
We love $20 video games on the Gamer Guild, so that sounds pretty neat.
That's a breath of fresh air compared to having to pay $1,600.
Hey, what did you pay for Space Marine 2? 110?
I paid 100.
100.
Yeah.
Plus tax.
You could have bought several I Am Your Beast, Noah, and gifted them to. You could have bought I Am Your Beast for all 3 of us.
Yeah, man. What's up with that, huh?
True.
How dare you?
I probably will still buy I Am Your Beast just for me.
Hey, the holidays are right around the corner,
Yeah, why don't you brag about it? Why don't you brag about it?
All right.
All right. Well, that's I Am Your Beast. Came out Tuesday, September 9th. $20 video game. It's on PC only by Strange Scaffold, a little indie FPS for you guys. So check that out if that's what you're into. All right. Next one is a collection of older video games.
Ooh.
Marvel vs. Capcom
Yes!
Fighting Collection. Yeah.
I'm buying that too. Give me that game.
Sign me up.
You're in luck, Marcus, because it came out today, Thursday, September 12th, and it's on every single platform, including the Switch, which usually I have to say it's not on the Switch, but this time it is. Hooray.
Well, gentlemen, looks like it's been nice knowing you. I'm gonna go.
So Marcus is going to go and pay $50 for this video game. That's how much it costs, and it's developed by, of course, Capcom. So this is a collection of the older Capcom fighting games. This has X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, which is one of my favorite ones. Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, underrated one. Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and the best one, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Definitely. And as a little bonus, it has The Punisher, which was a side-scroller beat 'em up video game on the arcades in the 90s, so threw that one in there too. But yeah, I'm a real big fan of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, so this is pretty neat. Yeah, what do you guys think? Noah, are you into your Capcom fighting games?
I think I've only sat down and played X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Nice.
But all of that comes with the entire collection, right? Mm-hmm. How much is that?
That's $50.
$50. Yeah. That's pretty good value. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, if you have a Switch, like, you know, that's pretty good. So, and dude, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of my favorite fighting games ever.
It's so
the
cool.
Punisher is actually pretty good.
When did that come out?
Man, like 91, pretty early. It was, I think, the first co-development between Capcom and Marvel was that one. I'm pretty sure it was the Punisher. And I think that's why they threw it in there, just kind of as an homage kind of thing. But yeah, it was actually a pretty fun game. Just kind of your normal side scroller beat 'em up type arcade action, but it's with the Punisher, and the Punisher's really cool, so that's fun. I also really like you said, X-Men versus Street Fighter. That's one of my favorite ones. Dude, playing as Cyclops, even though I'm a big Wolverine fan, playing as Cyclops is pretty cool. That was probably my favorite. But
I think I'm a bigger Cyclops fan.
Oh, really?
Hot take. Yeah, I think he's dope.
Nice.
Better than Wolverine.
Ooh.
There's a reason he's the leader.
Shots fired.
There's a reason he's the leader. Just saying.
Gene should have been with Logan, but whatever.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Marcus, are you into Marvel vs. Capcom at all, or the Punisher, or Marvel or Capcom? Whatever.
I'm gonna need a lot of Mountain Dew for this one.
There's a lot in there for this
A lot
one.
of Doritos, a lot of Mountain Dew.
You play a lot of fighting games, right?
I play a lot of fighting games, a lot of racing games, a lot of adventure games, a lot of indie games.
Yeah.
If it's a game, I play it.
So, which one of those is your favorite in that collection? Mine, I'm even though I do like X-Men versus Street Fighter, I'm gonna go Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's probably
That's gonna be mine.
nice.
I have.
It's that theme song, man.
Yeah, it's the theme song. Isn't that the one with the combos as well too? Once when you unlock something, it's like yeah.
Good stuff. Man, on the Dreamcast, that's where I played it.
I played it.
Dreamcast. I still have the Sega Dreamcast.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know if it works.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
We'll troubleshoot it.
Yeah,
Because I'm in the process of working on mine. So like I think mine needs like I think it's a CMOS chip or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm kind of into working on consoles as well.
Retrofitting it.
Yeah,
I haven't
retrofitting
even
and stuff.
plugged it in years, so we'll have to see if it's still.
Those things are pretty robust.
They are.
Yeah, you can take a beating.
I still have the little like the digital.
No way,
display
really?
thing.
Holy
yeah,
crap!
That you like plug into the controller.
The what? The VMU.
Yeah.
Yeah, the VMU is really cool.
Yeah.
It's like a little Tamagotchi. You could, if you're unfamiliar, the VMU stands for Visual Memory Unit, and on the Sega Dreamcast, you could put it looked like a little Tamagotchi, and you could put it inside the controller.
Yeah.
And if you're playing like, for example, NFL 2K1, a sports game, you could see the play in your controller so your opponent couldn't see it, that kind of thing. So back in the 90s, or this was like 2000, 2001, that was like a big deal. So that was pretty cool.
You know what?
You could also take it out and like do
I
stuff
think
with
putting
it.
displays on the controller needs to come back.
Yeah.
Dude, I was upset that the DualSense didn't have some sort of capability like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like we're charging what, 70 $70 for a controller.
It's highway
now?
robbery now, dude. Like let's
Put like a little OLED display on there that
for a
lets us do
2-hour
some
battery
stuff.
life.
Yeah, you hearing this, people? Put some screens on this thing, man.
Saying.
We want screens on our controllers.
Wii U knew what they were doing, all right?
Yeah.
They were ahead of their time.
They were like, whoa, wait a minute now.
They're so far ahead of their time that we haven't even gotten to the time.
I'll defend Wii U, okay? I'm their last stand.
I'll defend Wii U too, but not the game. Not the gamepad. All right, that's Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Came out today. It's on everything. $50 by Capcom. So check it out if you're into old Capcom fighting games. I know I am, so it's going to be pretty cool. And I think there is online capability. I didn't mention that, but I'm pretty sure there's online PvP. But I'll have to double check.
That's even better, yeah.
Even better. All right, last one hasn't come out quite yet.
Okay.
Comes out tomorrow, Friday, September 13th. So maybe by the time the episode airs. Funko Fusion. I don't know if you guys saw this one. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the podcast before. It's out on everything, including Switch. It's a $60 video game, not quite full price, $60, and that comes from 1010 Games, which is a new studio formed, I think in 2021. Okay. And I'm pretty sure Funko Fusion is their first game as well. So this is like a crossover video game, kind of like a Lego video game.
Oh, okay.
You know, like kind of Lego Star Wars-y type feel. Like very sandboxy, that kind of thing. But it's like oh no, some sort of multiverse thing is causing all the universes to come together. We've never heard that before in 2024, right? Oh man,
Skylanders.
Yeah,
You will be remembered.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, that one got me.
It's on your take right there. Love me some Skylanders.
I mean, he's right. He's out of line. He's right. Yeah, so this looks like Skylanders, except without, they're not doing like little collectible things, which is really kind of a missed opportunity. It's Funko. You know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, is this the Funko Pop company?
It's
is that
Funko
what this
Pops.
is? Okay.
And so it literally looks like a Lego game, except they're Funko Pops.
Yeah, that would have been so genius. Is that if you buy a Funko Pop, you could put it in the game.
There you go. There's some video for you right there. Yeah, dude, it's literally like
hey.
it's bad. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad, to be fair.
Not
But
at
it's
all.
like coming in clutch.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, the story is just like, there's a rift in the time, space, whatever. And,
that does look pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like a sandboxy. I think Jurassic Park's in it. Back to the Future.
Very cool.
Holy crap, dude! Really?
Yeah. There's like a whole list of all the games involved, but it's
not bad.
It's Funko. They have a lot of properties to
they
choose from,
do.
so that's cool.
Holy crap!
As far as how good is it going to be as a game, I guess we'll see. But if you like those properties, check it out. I
It
guess.
might be one of those kind of casual player type things or something like that.
It's probably not appealing to our demographic. It's probably for
if
kids.
you got kids,
that are gonna enjoy. Like,
I mean,
getting to be
at the
in
same
all this
time,
stuff.
though, if you got kids, a $60 video game is a tough sell these days. So I don't know.
I mean, most games are.
Yeah, I understand, but I don't know. The tough sell.
Fortnite's free, and you got every crossover you want in that
There
one.
you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But you got to pay for the skins. Probably not $60.
Don't have to. You don't have to.
That's true. Could unlock the V-Bucks.
My son hasn't discovered skins yet, so we're doing pretty good.
Keep them safe.
Yeah, he doesn't know what skin is. All right, well, that's all for the new releases. That's Funko Fusion. Comes out tomorrow or today, depending on when you're watching this. Friday, September 13th on everything, including Switch. It's a $60 video game from 1010 Games. So check it out if you're into Lego games. You might want to check it out. It kind of looks like the same type of deal.
Not bad.
All right, guys, let's get into the news. Let me take a drink of water before we get into this
I'll join you.
bad news. Refreshing. You know what's not refreshing? Studios having layoffs.
Dun, dun,
And we got
dun.
some more layoffs. It was actually breaking today. So we got some more layoffs coming from Xbox Game Studios this time, reported by Tom Warren at The Verge. 650 jobs have been cut by, quote, from, quote, mostly corporate and support roles. That's said by Phil Spencer, CEO of Xbox Game Studios. Yep, it happened again,
Well done.
keeps on happening. They're saying it's a result of the merger, just a delayed result between Activision Blizzard merger, which
Really?
whatever.
That's what they're going with.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know. I guess they just had to say something. Really, they just wanted more money, so they wanted to cut costs. Here it is again. Don't really have much else
counter
to say
back
about
to
it.
zero,
Yep, put the counter back to zero.
They could just.
0 days.
Did we have one podcast where we didn't have?
I think we were like one or two.
I think we had one.
One or two.
Yeah.
Well
There you
done.
go. Yep. I really have nothing else to say about it. That sucks for 650 people. You know what I mean?
They could just make like a really cool game and they could make more money that way.
You would think.
But they don't listen to us, Marcus. They don't listen to the Gamer Guild, and they really should. So if you want to tag Phil Spencer in comment on the Gamer Guild, he'll probably love it.
He watches.
Yeah, he's not that busy. So he's just cutting jobs, whatever. I don't know.
So I do like that apparently in a quote from the email, Phil Spencer specifically said, no games, devices, or experiences are being canceled.
Yeah.
And no studios are being closed as part of the layoffs that occurred today.
Yeah.
So we can take some solace in that at the very least. But remember, this is coming in addition to at least 1,900 other Activision, Blizzard, and Xbox employees that have been laid off just this year.
Yeah. And
alone.
just from that one business deal, from
Yes.
the one merger. That's crazy.
So-
in one fell swoop.
So
Crazy.
a $68.7 billion acquisition and over 2,000 jobs have been lost.
Man, oh man.
Dude.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
And I love how he highlighted mostly corporate and support roles. Like, that's gonna make everybody feel better.
Like, those are still jobs.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
people.
they're not artists. Oh, it's okay, guys. It's okay. Only the artists need jobs. Everybody knows that.
It's the best he could say, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's still
you got to spin it somehow,
You
I
have
guess.
to.
You know? So, well, that's really all I had to say about
I still see the plane falling out the sky, though.
Yeah, for real. Jeez. More layoffs at Xbox. We'll see next week if they continue. So, all right. Well, let's get on to some better news, slightly better news.
Yay.
But a little more of a price gouging in this one as well, which we'll talk to in a minute. The PS5 Pro, as reported by the Gamer Guild originally with the rumors, like several times.
leading journalists right here.
The PS5 Pro is a real thing. It was announced on Tuesday, I think, in a nice little video from Sony. So the main differences that I saw, or that I really took away from it, because, you know, whenever they do a big showcase for these things, it's always the dumbest thing. Oh, we're gonna have this tiny, it's 2 more teraflops or something that, you know, it doesn't make any sense, and it's just really stupid. So here's what I took away: 2 terabyte SSD, so twice as big with storage.
Okay,
that's good. Got a bigger GPU. That's apparently more powerful. No disk drive. You have to buy it separately, and here you go. Get ready. Y'all want to know how much it costs?
How much?
$700. That's a 7, Marcus. 700 with a dollar sign in front of it. $700 with no disk drive. You want to know how much the disk drive costs, Marcus? $80. That's 80 with a dollar sign in front of it, Marcus. $80 US. My goodness. So if you wanted a PS5 Pro with a disk drive, you would be out $780. Almost $800, Marcus. Can you believe
that? Plus tax, probably.
Plus tax, probably $800. My goodness.
See, this is why I play the waiting game.
Yeah, there you go.
So it does also have a list of PS5 Pro enhanced games, which they're going to start labeling games with. Kind of reminds me of Xbox did a similar thing with like enhanced for Series X.
Yes,
that kind
I
of
remember
thing.
that.
And it was really just a label, but enhanced for Series X, they mostly use for like older games, like Xbox 360 games and stuff like that. And they'd be like, enhanced for Series X. And it'd be like, you know, a 60 FPS patch or something like that.
Right.
And it would be an actual like patch they would put in the game and everything. And it was actually pretty cool. I liked it a lot. But this kind of seems like a similar thing, except they're going to do it on more recent games. And they did come out with a list of all the PS5 Pro enhanced games that you have on PS5 that you can play the enhanced version of. And when I say enhanced version, the way they explained it was, if you play a PlayStation game, for example, if you play the new God of War Ragnarok, if you play something like that, but these are all pretty similar to like Horizon, you play Ghost of Tsushima, that sort of game on PlayStation. You play that, you usually have an option when you start the game for a graphics mode, and it's usually a performance mode or a fidelity mode. And the fidelity mode is usually going to be in like 4K or however high your display can handle, but it's going to run at like 30 or under 60 FPS, lower frame rate, generally speaking. If you do performance mode, you will get 60 FPS, generally speaking, or just higher frame rates, but it'll usually only be at like 1080p, so lower resolution. 75% of players choose performance mode. I'm definitely one of them. I want my game to be smooth. I don't really need my res to be high, but I need it to be smooth. I need that motion to be good and feel good.
Right.
So this PS5 Pro enhanced label apparently makes it does AI upscaling to where
AI upscaling.
Yeah, it does AI upscaling to where if you were to choose performance mode to get 60 frames per second in your video game, you would now have AI upscaling to 4K resolution as well. That's the idea.
Okay.
So here are the games that Sony has said will be PS5 Pro enhanced, meaning if you choose performance mode, you will get higher resolutions. And it's a pretty good list. Here we go. Alan Wake 2.
Oh, wow.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, so the one that hasn't come out yet. That'll be out in, I think, October, November. Demon's Souls, the 2020 remake. Dragon's Dogma 2, which just came out. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, also just came out. Gran Turismo 7, no surprise there. That's a graphical showcase for Sony all the time.
For sure.
Hogwarts Legacy, which I was actually pretty surprised that they included here. That really has nothing to do with Sony, so I was kind of surprised at that one. And then a less surprising Horizon Forbidden West, Sony owned. Of course, they're going to do that one. Spider-Man 2, of course. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, of course. The Crew Motorfest, which, all 12 of the people that play that game, I guess, can enjoy that.
Strays for no reason.
Speaking of catching strays, the first Descendant is also in.
Okay.
And then another less surprising, The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. And you know what, Noah? I wouldn't be surprised if they just do a full release for The Last of Us again.
They have to.
It's going to be $80.
Season 2 of the show's coming out soon. You gotta bundle that.
God. Well, okay.
That's free marketing.
So what do you guys think about the PS5 Pro just in general? Do you think we need it? Marcus, what do you think about having a PS5 Pro at all?
At this point, once again, I just play the waiting game to see what else they do, because they have the Pro coming out and it has all this nice stuff and everything, but what if they come out with like PS5 Ultra and then it has like
or PS6,
Yeah, PS6. Oh yeah. How about like they come out with the PS6 and then I was like, yeah, I got the PS5 Pro and I got all this stuff. PS6 now comes out and it has all this stuff. Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Well, crud,
I got out $800.
Right, so I kind of learned my lesson from the Xbox One, because I got like the Xbox. I didn't jump on Xbox One right away.
Right.
When it was like X amount of dollars or whatever it was. When it got like just, I don't know, like a different color or something like that, that's when I jumped on board. And then like after a while, I'm seeing an Xbox X, Xbox S, Xbox SX something, Xbox Q.
They dropped a lot of consoles this generation.
Yeah, and it's like, well, now, and I'm sitting here just playing with the base model and everything like that, and I'm just watching everything go and stuff. So I just figured next time when I get the next console, I'm just gonna wait it out and see.
Wait it out.
See what's its final transformation gonna be like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, it is a little weird. I don't really. Did we really need this, Noah? I just don't think we did.
No, and I think
right.
So I think Sony's starting to lose sight of what their market is, what their demographic is. I mentioned this to you before when we first heard the news. They're almost trying to turn into like the Apple of gaming consoles, where they're going to charge a higher price for everything, but that's because you're paying for like their experience, their like elevated design, their operating system, and their exclusives, and they're like, nobody's going to have what we have, so we can charge whatever we want for it. Same with Apple. We have iOS, we have Apple Watch, Apple TV. You can connect everything, your MacBook, your iPhone. It's all interconnected, but you're going to have to pay a lot more than you really would if you were getting it from, another company.
Another thing that I also do is I also kind of base my purchases off of how many games I'm interested in when they got like a new console or something. Because
exactly.
if we had the PS5 and they have all these bells and whistles, but there's like just a handful of games that come with it, it's like, okay, well, I'm paying an arm, leg, and a friend to get this console, but it only have like maybe
4 games.
Yeah, like 4 games. Maybe 4.5 if they're nice.
That's
same
the
thing
big,
with this.
Yeah, and that's the big problem Xbox is having right now. That's why their console sales are so bad. You just don't know. Like, okay, well, what does Xbox have? I don't really know.
Right.
And what does Xbox have that I can't play on PC? That's an even bigger.
There you go.
So yeah, Sony's kind of falling into the same trap. It feels like
same trap, and the $700 price tag, I think, is just too much, especially for no disc drive.
Well, it was. I think the PS5 was $500 with a disc drive, right? I'm pretty sure
I
PS5
think so.
base
And then it was like $450, or $400 if you get it without the disc drive. But you could buy the disc drive separately and add it on.
I mean, so is it $200 like more impressive?
Well,
you know what I mean?
And that's the thing I was gonna talk about is when you get to like prices, I think higher than 500. In my opinion, now you're starting to compete with budget gaming PCs.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
And when you have $700, potentially $800, like you can get a PC that is able to run probably similar performance to a lot of those games.
A Steam Deck's only $600, I think.
Is it really that much?
Yeah. Well, I think for the higher model, it's like $600.
But
no, you're right. No, yeah. The lower one's like $400.
That's what I thought.
It's even cheaper. Yeah, you're right.
But then you get all these games that come with it too, and all that stuff and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, at that price point, yeah, you're looking at. I think this one was like $1,000 right here.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, it's right there. You know what I mean? And this one plays everything. You know, pretty much. And it's just a laptop.
And the whole
Right.
the whole marketing appeal of a gaming console is that it's going to appeal to more casual gamers usually, or people that are going to use it for not just gaming but entertainment in general, movies, TV shows, streaming, you know, anything. Whereas, you know, a PC, you use it for like not just gaming, you usually use it for like, you know, work or, you know, email, anything else that a computer can do. Maybe not so much watching content. Now, people our age is probably going to be watching a lot of content on the PC, but you know, not for a family.
Right.
So that's why you get a console. You hook it up to the TV in the family room, in the living room, and you can put your DVDs in there. You can put your Blu-rays in there. You can just have all your streaming accounts logged in on there on the TV, and you can have people play their games. It's an all-in-one device that's supposed to appeal to a more casual audience. $700 for something that has really not that much more functionality than the original PS5 that you can get for $500 or less if you get it used or something like that. It's just not worth the money. It's not worth the investment. And yeah, I just think they've completely lost sight of what their marketing appeal should be.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're going to need a display that has the capability to show 4K.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Resolutions that you're going to get anyway. So that's going to be expensive. I mean, man, and what? So Sony also just came out. I think, was it this year or last year? They came out with the PS Portal, which is just like,
oh yeah.
So everyone had the joke. Okay, so this is for rich people, you know? Like
It's like
a $300 like remote play system.
It's literally just
ridiculous.
It is the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah,
I just
much.
want to point that out for Sony because you can't use it outside of like the.
You can. But
So
your
we're just
PS5
pretty much just
has to
paying
be
for
on
devices
standby.
now.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know, they have the like their AirPod things or whatever. They're so jazzed about all the time. And they're always
like their headset.
Yeah, they're always so jazzed about that. And then like they have all the peripherals they love selling all the time.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to be like this all-in-one like gaming environment, just like Apple is with their tech, but. Apple has the unfortunate like appeal of like usually their stuff is better in terms of like for a user experience.
And it's usually the only option other than like a Samsung, right?
Only option other than, you know, Android or anything like that. Right. So they have their user experience so streamlined, which is a testament to their, you know, design, their user interface and all that stuff. Now, me personally, I think they've fallen behind in recent years with a lot of their updates. I think they're trying to catch up to Android in a lot of ways, but because they have such a huge market audience, like it doesn't really matter. They can kind of rest on their laurels because everybody just wants a new iPhone. And so they can charge $1,400 every year for a new iPhone. It's not worth that much, guys. Stop paying. Sony's trying to do the same thing. It's $700 console, but it's a brand new thing. You get the new games with 4K AI upscaling and all this stuff. And it's just it's not worth it. Yeah. And so I'm really disappointed by this direction.
Yeah, and I just thought of this. If the PlayStation VR 2 is any indication, they're not going to support this meaningfully in any way because they touted that PlayStation VR 2 like it was going to be the greatest thing in VR.
Yeah, like the next Oculus.
And then they came out with like, I think one game, and it was the Horizon game that came out at launch. And that was it, man. That was it. And then, like, I think Resident Evil 8, I think, had a VR mode, and that was it. So, I mean, I hope they do something with this. I guess that would be the silver lining in this whole situation. But even if they do something with this, it's still a $700 piece of equipment, which is just crazy.
The problem is every game that's going to come out on this PS5 Pro is also going to be on the PS5.
Yeah, that's true. So,
it's not a big enough leap where like the games developed for this is not going to be able to run on the PS5. The PS5 is powerful enough to run anything the PS5 Pro can, just not at 60 frames on some of the fidelity modes.
You'll still get 60 frames in performance mode, and like
exactly.
I don't think anyone was complaining about that at all. I certainly wasn't. I love playing performance mode. And like I told you, when I played Ghost of Tsushima, that was like the smoothest game I've ever played in my life game. On a PS5. Not on a crazy PC, but on a PS5. I mean, it was insane. But man, I don't know. $700 also, that is new console pricing. that is like, I mean, the PS5 was unveiled at $500. And you're telling me this is $200 better
instead of going down, it goes up.
So why wasn't this the PS6? You know what I mean? If it's $700, this should have been the PS. You know what I mean?
I actually saw a cool breakdown that somebody did on the price, but they adjusted every PlayStation console release for inflation.
Nice. To
see how much it would be. And, I'm sure you could look it up and find it, but I think the PS5 Pro is still the most expensive one in terms of like $699, but adjusted for inflation, the PS3 is actually very close. Like adjusted for inflation,
It was expensive.
It was like it's like $620 or
yeah,
something.
it was really expensive when it came out. I remember that.
And I was like, wait, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that. So Sony's
That's
no
why
stranger.
the 360 sold so much better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see the exact same thing happen here. Who's going to be buying this? People who have that kind of expendable income that don't really care and they just want the newest thing.
And probably already have a PS5.
Right.
Yep.
But that's not the majority of people.
No,
that's not the
definitely
majority
not.
of your consumers.
Majority of us just want to play games.
You know,
Give us the games. Delicious, magical games.
We just want games.
we don't want The Last of Us Part 1 or 2 again. Please make Part 3 at least.
In addition to this announcement, we talked about this earlier, they are dropping a new PS5 update
Oh, yeah,
on
that's
their
right.
Okay.
operating system. So that will finally bring back the ability to customize your background on the PS5 home screen.
And that's fully, you can use like a screenshot of something.
yeah,
if you
any
want,
picture, you can upload it just like it was on PS4.
It could be anything.
PS3, it used to have actual custom themes, which were really cool. I don't know if you ever had those.
Yeah.
I loved those. I had like a Call of Duty Ghost themed one. It was pretty
Nice.
cool.
Nice.
So you can select a custom design or use a screenshot as your background. Dedicated page on the home screen that can now be customized with widgets.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool if you look at the UI. It looks pretty nice. I'm excited. It dropped today, did it? Or no, the next couple weeks.
It's rolling out today for US and globally. It's
that's
rolling
right.
out over the few weeks.
Okay,
And
yeah.
remember, we talked about this when we were first talking about our rumors. I was like, if you're gonna get a whole new console or a whole new generation, usually you're gonna get a whole new operating system, a whole new controller, the whole shebang. So because this is kind of like a middle ground, it's like it's not the next generation. It's not really a new operating system, but they're adding a lot of functionality that wasn't within the original PS5 operating system and like adding it.
So this is kind of a little bit of a jump.
Yeah.
In Sony's eyes, maybe.
Exactly. I think they were
Interesting.
developing this for the PS5 Pro, and they're also giving it obviously to the PS5 because you can run it. These are features that definitely should have been added in the original. I don't understand. Like this widgets. Come on.
Speaking
now.
of Apple behind.
Exactly. It's almost like eerily similar.
Wow, a widget? I've never heard of that before. What is that? Oh, wow. That's amazing
Customize my
technology.
background.
Dude.
Screenshot is my background. Whoa, that's crazy. Man. Oh, yeah, I did want to bring this up. You know what's so funny? When the PS1 first came out, they had a big old E3 that was, obviously there to announce the PS1,
Right.
which was a big deal at the time. Everyone's anticipating it. And I can't remember the gentleman's name, but whoever was like the president of SIE, like the American branch at the time, he came up there to present. And literally, all he said was $299, and then he walked off the stage, saying that they're dropping it at $299. And then I can't remember what the console was at the time. The other console that they were competing against was $399. So yeah, and literally that's all he said, and people just went crazy. And then the PS1 obviously sold amazing, and yeah, the rest is history. Pretty crazy how
pretty
the
good.
script is completely.
I wish I
flipped.
saw that. I wish I saw that.
The video is pretty wild. Like he literally just goes up there, goes $299, and walks off. That's it.
That's
Oh,
my
wow.
complete, I'm not
Mic
gonna
drop.
lie.
Dang.
It's pretty cool.
I had to look that up now.
Yeah, right. Dude, they were cutthroat back in the 90s, man. they were pretty wild back in the 90s. All right. Well,
No
that's,
PR teams, just
just straight up, just cutthroat. And
yeah, dude.
This guy, he didn't even cutthroat. He decapitated, man. He just walked over there and says, $299.
$299. Yeah, it
And just walked away.
was a pretty boss move, straight up. Yeah. All right, here's our last story of the day. Astrobot, you guys, is a hit. A big hit. People were saying it is game of the year this year.
Oh, you don't
It's got
say.
a 94 on Metacritic, which is a monster score on there.
That's crazy.
It is a serious game of the year contender. So I just wanted to ask you guys, first of all, if you played Astrobot. I haven't. I don't know if you guys have played.
I have not.
Okay. I don't. Yeah.
I've not played it. I'm actually completely dumbfounded by this.
Yeah, me too. It's pretty surprising.
I'm curious.
Super happy for the team, though.
Yeah,
that's
Team
a great
Sony.
success for them. I mean, we were talking that we think this was going to be a hit for people who are fans of like the Sony franchises and stuff. But I mentioned like Little Big Planet kind of wanted to come back and stuff like this. But hey, if people are enjoying this, I'm so excited for them.
Yeah, this is like seems like Sony's Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's like that level of success. It's crazy how successful this is. So I want to ask you, Marcus.
Okay.
Speaking of Game of the Year, what do you think so far? Have you played any new games this year? I don't even know if I have, to be honest with you.
I've been playing a lot of things that's just actually I play games that give me a lot of mileage, replay value and stuff. So I just play the snot out of those, and then when the dust settles from things coming out and everything, then I turn on. Oh, hey, look, there's more. I tend to do that in bulk. Nice. So if it's like a new game, like let's say Helldivers 2 or something like that was like the most recent thing that came out and everyone's gunning for it, I will probably wait for a little while, and then when price goes down, I'll get Helldivers plus whatever else I see. Mm-hmm. And so I get to walk away with three or more.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean,
play the long game.
I always give that advice to people who say they want to play a Ubisoft game. I'm like, wait 3 months. It'll probably be on sale by like $20 because it's not going to sell that well. Or at least according to Ubisoft, it's not going to sell that well.
That's what happened with Star Wars Outlaws.
Exactly. I
don't know if we ever talked about what happened after the release for that. I think we did.
Yeah.
But it didn't get too good reviews.
No.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty mid, and a lot of crashing too, a lot of bugs. And
gosh, really?
Could be surprised.
Yeah, Ubisoft, no way. Yeah, so any early predictions for Game of the Year from either of you?
What's yours, Cody? What's your prediction?
I'm leaning towards Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay.
And I know everyone has forgotten about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because it came out in February. So it's been a while.
I was just about to bring something up about that. Like,
right.
Final Fantasy, is everybody still on the hype train for that? Or
no, definitely not.
I don't think so.
But it reviewed really well.
Yeah.
It's a solid game. And it's one of the highest rated games this year. I'm actually not sure. Let's see.
Yeah, but I think just because...
it's Astrobot, actually. Astrobot's 94. And then, Shadow of the Erd Tree, but that's a DLC. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has a 92 on Metacritic. So Astrobot is above Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on Metacritic. That's just Metacritic. So
I'm going to have to explore this Astrobot thing.
Yeah, right.
Like, because I want to say Astrobot has it, but I want to explore it first just to see if the sources were right.
Yeah, so there's
so
Astrobot, there's Final Fantasy... I mean, honestly, it's not a lot. There's two big DLCs, Shadow of the Erd Tree and the Final Shape. And then
for Destiny.
Mm-hmm. And then there's Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth came out this year in January. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other big one? Warhammer Space Marine 2 just came out. Noah,
I
you're saying?
I think that one's going to be my early Game of the Year contender.
Okay.
I think it's going to have the longevity into award season.
Before research, I would say Warhammer, and then after research of this of the game that's
this Astrobot.
Yes, this Astrobot.
This Astrobot game. Yeah. Oh, and there was also Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Oh, that one was pretty good.
I played that one. It was pretty good. Pretty good. I'd put that one up there.
I think
I would put that one.
It might get nominated, but it's such a small demographic. It probably
it's
won't
not
win.
a Game of the Year game.
Yeah, but that's good. I like that one.
Dragon's Dogma 2. That's another one.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of fell off a little bit pretty hard. Yeah, I don't know. And then there's just really not a whole lot after that. There was a World of Warcraft expansion this year.
So many expansions.
That's a big deal.
And they were good, but like
EA Sports College Football 25. There you go.
Oh boy,
dude, it's pretty light, so it might be. And then Helldivers 2, of course. Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, 2023 was such a stacked year, man. This one's kind of like, I don't know. It's a little tougher.
Yeah, this one was tough. A lot of layoffs. It's been rough in the gaming industry this year.
I think I'm still gonna go with Final Fantasy for now.
I'll place bets on Warhammer.
Warhammer. Okay,
yes,
we'll go 2 Warhammer, 1 Final Fantasy. I'll stick to my Buster Sword, and you guys stick to your guns.
That's right.
What else is coming out this year? So what else comes out in 2024?
Marvel Rivals
in
December.
That new Zelda game comes out this year. Echoes of Wisdom. Hey, man. Hey, you didn't think anything of Astrobot, all right? Don't count it out.
Hey, that's true. I've been proven wrong many times on this show.
Hey, didn't Tears of the Kingdom get like a lot of awards too? At one point,
it won.
No, it didn't win. Well, it didn't win the big one.
Okay.
Yeah, it got not. Well, actually, I think Baldur's Gate kind of beat it out of everything.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate sweep
Like
pretty much.
stomp mud holes everywhere.
Yeah, I think I saw Tears of the Kingdom won. I think the GameSpot Game of the Year.
Okay.
Which is GameSpot. Most people pay attention to the Jeff Keighley Game Awards. I'm trying to think of what else is coming out in 2024.
I think that's it.
I mean, yeah,
really?
We're almost coming to the end here, and I mean, we're only in September, but we're almost to the end.
Well, and a lot of stuff got delayed too, like because Avowed was supposed to come out this year,
Oh, that's right.
and now that's in
Oh,
February.
hey, speaking of that, the Indiana Jones game comes out this year.
That one is coming out,
Yeah.
Indiana
Okay.
Jones. So that one,
We'll see.
I
Game of the year.
don't know about Game of the Year. I think it looks good though.
It feels weird to say that. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Game of the Year. Oh.
It must have been one heck of a year. Game of the year.
Shit. Funko Fusion, baby, Game of the Year.
Funko.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, I don't know. That's pretty much it for the rest of the year. And that's pretty much all we have here at the Gamer Guild podcast. Marcus, thanks so much for joining us. Do you have any other words of wisdom for the viewers out there when it comes to playing and enjoying video games?
Play the waiting game.
There you go. Play the waiting game. You
like
heard
that.
the man.
And you'll have more to play.
Don't pay $100 for a video game. Isn't that right, Noah? Anyway, that's
That's right. That's right, guys. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Well, from all of us here at the Gamer Guild podcast, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. The Gamer Guild podcast is recorded at Augusta University's Pamplin TVC and Podcasting Lab. Our producer is Jackson Garner. The Pamplin TVC and Podcasting Lab supervisor is Jasmine Garcia. Music is by Ethan Balducci. The opinions stated are that of the individual and not Augusta University.